Did you guys know that in the last 4 years, Marvel Studios has went
woke? DEI.
Yeah, you guys know. You guys know how this works. They went woke, despite the fact that Marvel's always been woke. Yeah, so head of Marvel Studios tackles these complaints directly, and he pretty much says, hey, if you think this, you're an idiot. Because have you ever picked up a comic? Or looked at the real world? Don't you love buzzwords? Don't you love the latest in DEI, woke, PC, whatever else there is that's the latest buzzword to go, hey, yeah, I'm a terrible human being, but hey, if I use this, it's a shield because I can just say it's woke and DEI instead of I hate women and minorities. And then I can just say they're shoving it down my throat like a cult while I wear clothing that also represents a cult. And I'm generalizing here because, like, fan bases are considered cults as well, right? Like, you could easily argue this. There's Star Wars cults, Star Trek cults, Marvel cults. Technically, I'm part of all those. But then they get too hardcore. Yeah, so head of Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, was asked about winding down representation and pulling back on DEI and woke initiatives per what Bob Iger said. And he said, well, why don't we look at Miss Marvel and The Marvels? He says that that's one of the best castings we've ever done. And you're going to see more of her in other projects. He talked about other characters as well that have showed up in other projects, like Eternals, and obviously The Marvels and Agatha. He said those characters will also be back. And then further talking about the whole woke and DEI thing that gets tossed against Marvel, he said, well, our world, the Marvel world, exists in the real world. So go outside in New York and take a look. You are going to see LGBTQ plus representation everywhere. Those characters exist in the real world. They exist in the Marvel world. From Black Widow to Shang-Chi to Eternals to the Marvels to WandaVision to She-Hulk to Secret Invasion to Echo and Agatha all along. He said all of these concepts come from the real world and what's being talked about and the characters that occupy the real world, so they're not going to do away with that. Now, some of these characters will take longer to come back than others, but they're not going anywhere and they're not pulling back on them because they are part of the Marvel world that they're building that's just like the comics. I mean, yeah, what are you going to do about it, right? Like, we already know, we can tell. The moment that they start casting the X-Men, it's already happened with fan castings and rumored names. They're already going woke. X-Men are going woke, I know. And people are going to be upset. And it's just something that's not going to escape. There's just awful fan bases and people online that can't accept anything but just, it has to be a white person for whatever. You can't make even a slight change, even if it calls for it, you know? It is what it is. Some of these people have never picked up a comic. I think that much is clear, you know? That much is obviously clear. And how funny is it? I sit here all these years after we were the first on YouTube to review Miles Morales comics and defend Miles Morales, and majority of the comments were outright hate and bigotry. And now some of those same people and channels love Miles Morales. Things never change. You give it enough time, the hated thing becomes a fan favorite because people grew up with it. The Star Wars prequels were outright hated by toxic adults. And now, the people that grew up with the prequels are toxic adults hating the sequels, and the cycle will continue. Because fan bases and dumb people never grow up out of their childish ways. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.